tell the story of the Dixie Giants, I need to tell the story of Ernest Tyree, who is an African-American born in Palmyra, Virginia, somewhere between 1879 and 1885. Depending on the census we refer to, the dates change. We don't know much about his early life, only that according to the census, although he had schooling only through first grade, he could both read and write. Somewhere in the early 1900s, he came to Cranford. The earliest we can establish is March of 1904, when he married a local woman by the name of Maggie Eason. And about the time he went to work for Thomas Sperry. Sperry was the founder of S&H Green Stamps. Sperry sent him to a school in New York, a culinary school, and after he completed his studies, retained him as his personal chef until Sperry died in 1913. Now, the Dixie Giants. As early as we can tell, they start in 1907. They were Tyree's idea. He was both their manager and a player on them. Their first year was 1907, when they were the Cranford Stars. The following year, they became the Dixie Giants, and they would be the Dixie Giants throughout their career, which went all the way to 1931.
Who did the Dixie Giants recruit?
Well, they recruited local people, and I guess, again, we have to, little background. Sports teams then were strictly segregated. Professional teams, there were the major leagues, but there also was the Negro League, which was the professional league for black players. Regular teams and professional teams did not cross racial boundaries. However, the Dixie Giants, who were not a professional team, played exhibition games, and they played anybody that wanted to play them. So they played white teams, black teams, all of whom were non-professionals. We know of two of the people he recruited. One was a local by the name of Albert Harris, who was also his nephew. And Home Run Harris, as he was known, was both their first baseman and pitcher, and really terrific. One other individual he recruited, and again, I think local, went on to play in the Negro Leagues professionally in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Do you have any other concluding statements about the Dixie Giants? Or
Just, I think they were an absolutely amazing team. One of the things that makes it a little hard to find information is at the time, newspapers, which were all white-owned, really weren't very interested in what black people were doing. But again, the popularity of that team has given much better coverage of Tyree and the Dixie Giants than we probably would have had with other African Americans.
So a couple of years ago, I had to do a lesson with Mr. Chiroka for a Sports America class, and unfortunately, I don't love sports, but I love history. So as I was doing research, I wanted to bring in a local history aspect, and I found out about the Cranford Dixie Giants. So they were a local black baseball team that played right here in the early 1900s, and we thought it would be a great idea after doing research that we recognize and remember the men that played baseball here. So we came up with the idea of building a bench to commemorate these men and recognize them. And thankfully, we found a student this year, Daniel.
So I grew up right around the corner of Cranford Avenue and always knew about my grandfather. Unfortunately, I was born after he left this world. But, you know, I've heard a lot of good stories. Not new to me, but, you know, I just thank God for this experience.
Yeah, and I always knew about it from my dad. So it's a very huge sacrifice for us. We're very proud. I have 5 daughters and a baby son, so I'm walked out here today and sit on the bench. They're in school now, all throughout Cranford. So we're very proud.
And I would love the Tyree family to come forward as well because we are going to do a ribbon cutting.